What's going on, everyone, YouTube? So let's talk about how to spot a green flag employer.
As a leader myself, a CEO, when people leave, I take stock of what did I do wrong? That's the first thing. I look at myself and I'm like, how did I fail this employee?
So a lot of times people talk about the bad about companies, and I want to talk about how to spot a good company.
I know that you work hard. I know you're kind and smart. I know you try your...
So a red flag in a workplace is commonly discussed, but where's the positive indicator?
We are 100% remote, but you can come into the office as you choose. We trust you to do your job, and we're not going to micromanage you on every project we give you. Lastly, we like to recognize people for their accomplishments and
tired of a workplace red flag horror stories? What if I told you there's some actual wholesome stories? And
what green flags would you look for in a job description?
Benefits. So benefits around looking after employees' welfare, holidays, key, minimum 23, 25 days holiday.
In a world obsessed with warning signs, it's time to flip the script and let's talk about how to truly find an exceptional employer. In this video, I'll show you the positive indication that you've been missing.
You are making the right decision when accepting that next job role. Okay, number one, and this is a really good sign, if they give you ample time to say yes or no.
So comment down below what you think about this. Is all employers bad, everyone out for their own? Or what do you think? At the end of the day, I used to own my own business and almost all my employees pretty much like work for me. Maybe one or two didn't like it. I don't know. At the end of the day, I was kind of that boss that was an asshole. And I learned a lot from it. But let's talk about this. So let's beyond the buzzword, the culture you can feel. So obviously, current employee interaction, genuine smile, collaboration and energy, and open communication speaks volumes about a mission statement on a wall. So let's look at the mission statement. Let's see what it says. Because at the end of the day, there's always a disgruntled employee. There's always a issue. And this is where you have to look at. You need to look at the company overall and see how well they are doing. Talk to employees and see if they're happy there. You can always do this, and I see a lot of employees have this issue where they always just talk about the bad. I always tell people, go talk to the person that's the most disgruntled employee you can find. And then two, go talk to the happiest person that you can find and see what's the different and see what's off. And ask them to talk about the good and bad and see what you can decipher from it. Now, let's talk about this. Look for evidence for internal promotion and long-term employees. That's a sign of happy and is see as future in the company. So if you see people get promoted internally, you see long-term employees, people staying there 40, 30 years, that's a good sign. I went and saw places that they only worked, the average person worked there was 4 years. And after the 4th year, I was the longest employee there. And I was like, what the heck happened? And I found out, for me, I didn't really get into office politics. I didn't get into other issues. I just went to work and go home, didn't worry about it. But everyone else, they were getting passed up for promotion. They were unhappy because they weren't getting things that they wanted, and they weren't getting the training they want. A lot of different things. I found out the place I was working at was actually really bad. But for me, I didn't care because I was more focused on my business at the time. And I was only using the 9 to 5 to help fund to start my business. So make sure you look for the evidence and you can see it in the employee. And ask about social event and team building activity. Not just the official one, but other gatherings that shows true camaraderie. Right now, I work for a company that every Friday that I take my team out to eat and we eat together. And this is not a event that I hold for everyone. We go out to eat every Friday. We sit down, talk about what happened during the week. And this is not an official event for the hospital. This is just me taking out my team and talk to them. Yes, everyone pays for their own meals. But it gives us time for us all to sit down and talk to each other. And that's really show us camaraderie. So if you have these social events that are separate from the ones that you have to go to, it can really show teamwork. And when I found out whenever there's actual camaraderie at work and team building activity that people really want to go to, it was a really good company to work for. Now, let's talk about the interview experience. It's not just about them. So let's pay attention to how the interviewer treats you. Are they genuinely listening or just running through the script? Do they answer your question thoroughly? For example, I had a place that I went to go work for. That interview went horrible in my aspect. I got a job offer, so my side was good. But when I asked questions, it didn't get answered. I started asking simple questions. What's my day to day? What are some of the job things I'm going to be doing? And they couldn't answer my question thoroughly. So whenever you go in there, are they listening to what you're saying, or they're just going, hey, I have 20 more interviews I have to do, and they're just trying to get through with it. And at the end of it, if they're just trying to push through and get it done, it's not a really good place. If they're listening to you and answer your questions to the fullest, you know that that's a really good manager and they actually know what they're doing. Now, you notice the flow of the interview. It's well structured, it's respectful process, often indicate organization and consideration of the workplace. So I had an interview that I needed to show up at 11. I showed up at 10:59, 10:55, and I waited until 11. I gave them a call, and it still took 25 minutes to get to me for my interview. So I waited 25 minutes. So that's not really respectful of my time. Now, I showed up on time, so I expect the interviewer to show up on their time and treat my time as important as theirs. And when I went to the interview, they didn't really have it structured very well. They didn't have the process, they didn't have it organized. So I knew this place wasn't a good place to work for. Yes, I did well on the interview. I got that job offer too. But whenever I noticed the flow of the interview, it wasn't that great. So if you go there and you have to wait to be interviewed and a long period of time, they say your interview will start at 11 and it starts at 12, that means you might have a bunch of red flags. You might want to avoid that workplace. And lastly, during the interview, do they encourage you to ask questions about work-life balance, development, the company challenges, and are they transparent with it? Because if they're transparent with you, it's a good sign. So I asked the company before, what's the work-life balance? And they said, it's however you make it. I said, okay, that doesn't really ask my question. I said, what is a development plan for my career whenever I move forward in this position? Because I want to know if I get training and anything else. And they're like, well, we don't really offer anything like that. And there's all the development is you have to bring it to me and then I will get it done as fast as I can. So that means they don't really work on helping their people grow. The company challenges, like what are some of the challenges I will get at work? And here's the thing. He said, well, there's not really any challenges besides communication between departments. I'm like, okay, they don't even know what's going on. So these are interviews that will tell you if you're good or bad. And this is the thing. Just listen to your gut. Just because they pay more doesn't mean it's a better place to work at. Now, the benefits at the place is more than just pay. So investigate the health insurance, the wellness program. So the basic health insurance, looking for mental health support. If they give you gym membership, what do they offer you as a benefits? Because I found that if a company gives a ton of benefit and support their staff, it's a really good place to work for. Because the more benefits they're putting into you, that means the happier they're trying to make you. And then inquiry about professional development opportunity. Make it a clear budget for course, conference, mentorship program, what it is that the company invests in you. Now, here's the thing. Ask, do y'all have a educational route? Do y'all have a development route? What is the company investing into you as an employee? If they tell you nothing, then it's pretty much not a really great place because they're not going to invest in you. And no matter how much you complain about, they're not going to help you develop. And this is what you need to know from the start. And then the other thing is ask about flexibility, work arrangement. Are they flexible with you? Do they have flexible hours? Are they remote? Are they hybrid? If a company trusts its employees to manage their work and let them have a flexible work-life hybrid and remote, that's a very good place to work for. Now, if they're very strict, you need to be here between 8 and 5, there's no other solution. I'm going to tell you that's a very strict company and you're not going to have a high satisfaction rate as the other company. Now, here's the other thing you need to look at a company is leadership and growth and who's at the helm. So you need to look at the leadership. Who is the leadership? Who's the CEO? What are they talking about? Look for articles. What do they talk about? Look for these things because this will tell you what the leadership is. Leadership reflects what everyone else is going to look at the company. Now, ask for appropriate feedback for performance review. So, forward-thinking companies value continuous improvement. If you talk to them and they don't give you a feedback, they don't meet with you, that means it's a very bad company. Currently, I've seen a company that has never done a performance review or met with their own employees. They just give them a standard raise. That is not a good company to work for. Now, if they meet with you, they're going to give you the good and bad news. It's all right. At least they met with you. And future proof of your career and science stability and innovation. Now, comment down below what you think, if this video is worth it or not. So look into the company's financial health and market position. So if you look at the company and they're financially healthy and they're stable and they're not stressed out about money, it's going to be a pretty good company to work for. If they're always worrying about money, they're losing a bunch of money, it's going to be very, very stressful. So ask about it. How are they financially standing? And understand their commitment to corporation social responsibility and see what they do. If they have a strong ethical composition, often treat their employees with the same respect. And that's all I really have for you. Just make sure before you go in there, do your due diligence on the company, because a lot of times you can figure out if the company is good to work for from the CEO standpoint all the way down to your manager, and you figure out if it's good or bad. So like and subscribe to my video, and hopefully that helps you find a great workplace to work for and not just all the bad news.